Hey guys, what's up, it's Zyphlin here, and today I wanted to show you guys my Artemis Bow Umbral build, if that makes any sense. I think it does. Artemis Bow Umbral build, Umbral Artemis Bow build, Ivara Umbral Artemis Bow build. Trying to think of a title mid-video, or at the start of the video. Some form of it will make some sense eventually. I'll just talk to myself for a while after the stream and find out what I think sounds better. But other than that, I made a Umbral Artemis Bow build, which you can use either if the Artemis Bow augments on, because keeping everybody's, preferences or playstyles in mind and stuff like that. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the build. Now, I'm not that big of a fan of Ivara whenever it comes to stealth. I do have two separate Ivaras. I have my stealth Ivara, which uses Infiltrator, and then I have my Artemis Bow Ivara, which is just for Artemis Bow and the Artemis Bow augments, right? So we have Empowered Quiver, and then we also have a Concentrated Arrow, which you can just swap out on the fly like that, and then use whichever one you prefer, right? I personally like this one because it means I can use any of my weapons as long as I'm on a dash wire arrow and get that crit damage bonus. And then, maybe that status prevention too. That's pretty nice. But I guess the main focus of the build is the amount of power strength that I have, right? So we have Umbral Intensify, Blind Rage, Transient Fortitude, and Power Drift, one from the top. Then we have Prime Flow for our Energy Maximum, Fleeing Expertise, and Streamline for our Efficiency. And then we have our Umbral Vitality for health, which will increase the stats of your Umbral Intensify from 44 to 55. And then we also have Cruise Projection on here to reduce the enemy's armor by 30%, so we're dealing more overall damage. And then we have the PS4 Augment, which we can use pretty much anything. And then your Arcanes, it's really down to you and which Arcanes you want to run at whatever given time. So basically, what this augment does is it gives you 100% extra critical damage, so you can use this for your Artemis Bow, your primary, your secondary, whatever. As long as you're on the dash wire arrow, you're going to get that crit damage bonus, right? So if we were to spawn in a multitude of different enemies, I'm spawning in paused AI, because you don't get a bonus to paused AI if you're using a rifle or a secondary. That only comes into play if you're using a melee, so you get that stealth bonus. So just to clear that up, what you basically want to be doing, how many times am I going to mess up this video? You want to get on your dash wire arrow, and then you can see that crit damage bonus is actually increased by your power strength, right? So we have 321% crit damage bonus, which means that if we end up shooting them, we're going to deal a lot more damage than we normally would. So I'm just shooting with the Ractus Cernos here, which is a viral hunter munition prime being Ractus Cernos, and you can see that we melt these level 155 guys relatively quickly, right? Once we get those slash procs and stuff off, and maybe even the viral procs in there, then these guys die omega fast, especially whenever you're on this dash wire arrow hitting your headshots and stuff like that, implying, you're playing Ivara that way. What I'd also do sometimes is just go ahead and hit like a little stealth arrow here for like 2 seconds or something if I need to hide from like a Nox or something that's coming. So you can definitely do that too. But yep, that's the thing. And then on top of that, you can use your Artemis Bow like so, and then just kill people like this if you so please. And then we can swap to our Piranha here, and then we can shoot all the way over here, and we also get that crit damage bonus, right? So that's pretty awesome and cool, and you can pretty much use this from anywhere, right? So let's just go ahead and make a little dash wire there and shoot this guy in the head. And you see that we get that critical damage bonus right in front of this guy's face, like so. Now, of course, these guys are paused, so they're not going to be damaging me, but these guys are just paused AI standing still at 155 for like testing purposes to see like how fast we can kill. You also don't have to fully charge up your Artemis Bow. You can kind of just tap it like so, and then make them go all the way across the map just by holding down your left click or tapping your left click, whatever, while on a dash wire arrow, which is pretty awesome. So once I kill this next group of enemies, to kind of give you guys an idea of how fast these guys die, I'm pretty sure I'm also using hunter munitions on my Artemis Bow, because that's going to come into play big time on our Concentrated Arrow build too. So I'll show my Artemis Bow build as well. Not using any super fancy mods on it. I'm pretty sure it is just a standard critical damage, critical chance bow build. So as you can see, we have Serration, Hunting Munition, Split Chamber for our damage. Point Strike, Vital Sense for our crit chance and crit damage. There was Stormbringer and Infected Clip. You could remove Val Acceleration for more damage if you want. So you could like replace that with, let's say, for example, a Prime Being. If we were to take this off, remove Point Strike from that slot from Prime Being of Corrupted. And if we spawn these guys in again, get our Dash Wire Arrow. Do this. And then if we were to just shoot these guys in the head. Oh, that's the wrong thing. That's my Cernos. We do this. You see that these guys die super fast. That's just from the corrosive damage as well. So what you could do is mod it for viral instead of corrosive. And then if you don't kill the enemy in one shot, what'll happen is their health will be like halved or whatever. Yeah, it'll be halved. So there we go. Rhymes like this. And if we were to just to Dash Wire Arrow, got on top of it. Use our 4. Oh, that's not my 4. Just go ahead and do this. You'll see that we get those pretty deadly slash procs coming off as well. So that's like 12k damage per tick, which is actually pretty insane. And that's not even taking your viral proc, which will half the enemy's health, into consideration either. So it's a pretty awesome build. So again, you don't have to fully charge it. You can just tap it like so, and then the guy will just kind of die straight up. So that's also another way of building an Artemis bow. That guy got the viral proc on him. Unlucky for him. And then you also have the bonus from your navigator as well if you want to use that. But I think that'll drain your energy super fast. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the stats of the builds in general. If we take a look at the abilities, you can see that we have negative duration on this ability right here, which isn't that big of a deal because we're not using Sleeper and we're not using our Stealth Bubble that much anyway. We have our Navigator, which has a damage multiplier 16 times and a multiplier growth of 4.4 times. Energy per second, though, is 5.25, which is where your Prime Flu comes into play. And then we have our Proil, which is the steal time is up to 11 seconds, which is horrible. Headshot damage of 2.29, which is nice. And then energy per second is 1.75, which isn't too bad. So you can stay invisible as well with this build. And then we have our Artemis bow, where the base damage is 771.6. And then we have 7 multi-shot, which you can increase with your Pyre Strength. And you can see the cost of the abilities aren't too high, considering how high Ivara's maximum energy is whenever she picks up her her Prime Flow and then picks up all the energy that she can hold, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to swap out our Empowered Quiver for our Concentrated Arrow, and then we're going to kill all the enemies. We're going to spawn in another, let's just go ahead and spawn in the rest of these heavy gunners and do that. 20 heavy gunners. We'll dash over to them, and this is a viral crit hunt munitions build that you're about to see come into play here. So you'll notice that we didn't really get that many slash procs off there. But if you do keep on hitting them in the head, the explosion will proc your slash procs, and you're dealing 15k per tick, which is really, really nice. And then you also have viral procs from time to time that'll factor in as well. Orange crits, etc. that come into play. So it's a pretty deadly build. The only thing that I don't like about it is the fact that you have to 110% of the time be hitting those headshots. Otherwise, it's just not gonna, like, do anything for you, right? So you don't hit those headshots, Concentrated Arrow basically becomes useless, which is why I prefer the other augment, because, you know, gives you a lot more leeway whenever it comes to aiming. But you can completely obliterate a group of enemies in a couple shots with your Artemis bow using either of the augments, honestly. So yeah, this is my preferred way to play Ivara. I use her as a survival frame using Artemis bow just for shits and giggles and fun. So yeah, I really enjoy using either of those augments, but Empowered Quiver is definitely my favorite just because of that crit chance bonus. So yeah, the only thing that you're really gonna have to look out for is the fact that Ivara is, you know, relatively pretty squishy. What we could do is we can unpause the AI like so, get our energy, we can go invisible, shut off Dash Wire Arrow like so, and because the enemies don't see us, because, well, we're invisible, we can just kind of like sit here all day and do whatever we want to them and kill them and yada yada. So you get that crit chance buff or a crit damage buff. Hit your headshots, proc your viral, proc your slash. Enemies die extremely fast, even if you're not necessarily hitting headshots. So it's just a really, really nice build in my opinion. And remember, you don't have to charge it down. You don't have to hold it down. because that charge doesn't actually affect your damage. So you can just, you know, do this like so, and just burst them off like that. But try your best to hit the headshots, because you can see like that big chunk of damage just took off there of the headshot, and the fact that we proc the viral. So yeah, and another big chunk, and he's dead. Let's see if we can get another headshot. Okay, slash procs are coming into play, 18k per tick, and then we have the 37k damage. There's another slash proc, 1.7k per tick, 1.7k. And not so good that time. He's dead. Got this guy. No slash proc. He's dead. That guy just died. So yeah, it's a nutty build, in my opinion at least. Pretty crazy. So yeah, that's just a different way of playing Ivara. It is kind of energy hungry because of the Blame Rage and lack of efficiency mods to kind of counteract that. But I think it's super fun, especially if you're proactively playing in the likes of a survival or defense mission. You're going to get a lot of energy orbs dropping anyway, and the enemies are going to be a lot easier to kill than what I was demonstrating. So if you really want to, for the fluidity of it, you can swap off that beam mod for, you know, what's it called? Vial Acceleration, if you would like. Entirely up to you. But I don't know. I personally, it really depends what type of content you're playing. I like having Vial Acceleration on if I know I'm playing versus lower levels, but then if I'm going into endgame with Ivara with Artemis Bow for some reason, playing like a long survival, then Prime Being of Corrupted or Prime Being of Grenier, whatever I'm playing against for a long run, is going to be my go-to. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my Artemis Bow build and my Umbral Ivara build for Artemis Bow. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button below, and if you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.